you handle it, and people are starting to figure it out, and it's fantastic. Are you like, do you see a larger and similar trajectory for this? Like, what do you have going on?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and I appreciate also the kind of attention to the importance of decentralization, because I think that is key. And definitely, like, what I think that the trajectory we're on right now. So, like I said, in January, we mimicked the World Economic Forum by having our event at the exact same time as them, saying like, "Hey, don't watch them. Pay attention to solutions." We just did the D3 summit. This was also us mimicking them, because a few weeks ago they had a digital global governance summit where they basically talked about
the global tech governance.
Yeah, exactly. So they had their sort of like, hey, here's how we want to use blockchain and all that, and
yeah,
and
we sat through that garbage.
This was us saying like, here's the alternative again. Like, here's some other ways, opportunities. So they were supposed to meet again in May, the World Economic Forum, and that's why we were having our event at the end of May. They rescheduled theirs till August, but we're also at the point now where with this event, we're pretty much like, okay, it's a cool concept. We want to kind of mirror and mimic them, but we don't want to be glued to them. We want to kind of break off, right? And like, for example, with the event this weekend, the World Economic Forum talks a lot about the fourth industrial revolution that we're going through, the Internet of Bodies, Internet of Humans, all this kind of things. And so we called ours the first decentralized evolution, like that we believe that we are in the middle of creating, like that all of us are kind of creating this. And so we're definitely like trying to counter some of their moves and things like that. And I think that's important because globally, internationally, there's nobody else trying to really challenge them other than, some protests on the ground. And that's not to say that we're doing it. It's that now it's become this international thing that all we had to do was just kind of put it out there and people responded. People were clearly looking for solutions. And so in the sense of decentralization, one of the things we did the first time and that we're going to do again at the end of May is, in addition to having our official event in Austin and in Mexico, we basically said, look, you don't have to come to our events if you can't. Host a watch party in your community. And before, last time we made it super decentralized, so we just told people, hey, organize a watch party. And then during the event, it was really beautiful. People started sending in pictures from Germany, from Australia, from all over the world. And we're getting to show, sometimes it's just somebody sitting with their cat watching the computer. Sometimes it's a group of people, but we were just, and I think that really does feed into the camaraderie that people realize, like, holy shit, we're not alone. Like, this is like all around the world. There's people paying attention right now. And so we want to elevate that even more. So we've done things like we're making the time that we're going to do the event a little earlier so that the folks in Europe, it's not the middle of the night for them and they can stay awake and see the whole thing. So hopefully we have more participation. But also now on our website at thegreaterreset.org, we've actually created this watch parties form where people can go and like upload like, hey, I plan to host a watch party in this city. And if they want to make it public, other people can come show up and join. But also we're now like being able to map this out to see like, look, this is a visual representation of how many of us there are around the world. They're going to be tuned into these solutions. And I think both in a psychological and on a spiritual level, like there's power in that. There's power in us gathering in vigils, as you guys know, at the same time. There's also power in like people all around the world, hundreds of thousands of people tuning in, hearing about solutions as opposed to just talking about the problems.
Yeah.
And so not only are we doing the watch parties, but the other thing we're doing is this sort of video contest that we're calling the People's Reset. And basically the goal that we're trying to see is like, we don't want this to just be, in the age of Zoom everything, just another online conference people tune into for a couple of days and go back to their work. We very much, the reason we called it the Greater Reset Activation and not the conference or festival or something is because I think it was you, Jones, also used the word earlier that we really are trying to activate people, not to just like, don't just consume this passively like conspiratainment, infotainment, but listen to these talks in the areas of permaculture and health and digital technology and building community and see how can you incorporate these ideas into your life. And so it was really beautiful. After the first event, there were people posting in our Telegram channel like, hey, we just had our first Freedom Cell meeting in my area. We're gathered, I got 10 people now, or hey, we just built our first garden, or I pulled my money out of the bank, like real tangible actions. And I think that's the only thing that's going to propel us forward. So my personal goal and the goal of this event is in the next 30 days, we're just going to be encouraging people, send in short little videos showing us what did you do since the first Greater Reset activation and how much progress have you made? And then we're going to highlight those during the event. So people all around the world can see, look, here's examples of people taking real steps in their lives, because I know the event is great. I'm glad we're reaching people. But if those 150,000 plus people who watch it just go back to work the next day and don't do anything different, then what the hell is the point? I mean, we had a bunch of fun and we shared some ideas, but ultimately, like, we need to be at the point where we can physically and tangibly see like the movements moving forward. Like the movements need to move at this point. And if we can see like, hey, our event helped 5,000 people pull their money out of the banks into a local credit union or invest in some local currency or whatever, or 10,000 people built gardens after this event. Like that's real movement. That's real food security. Like, so that's kind of where we're focused on, like taking it. We are probably going to do these events every 3 to 4 months, just as long as there's momentum, just keep riding that